Working on my 2009 Ford Flex front-wheel drive today. We're just about going to roll 140,000 miles on it. And this might have the original front brake pads on it. We've been having a problem with the brakes being a little soft. I bled the system a few months ago, and that didn't really make a difference. I took this apart last weekend and found out that one of our caliper slide pins was seized up. So went ahead and ordered new caliper brackets, new slide pins in them. Got brand new Ford front brake pads, and I'm just going to go through this quick with you for kind of a how-to on how to replace the front caliper bracket if your slide pins are seized up. So I got the vehicle already jacked up and the lug nuts loose, but we'll go ahead. You can actually get a pretty good look at the caliper here. There's something weird about these bolts that hold the top of the caliper on. I'm going to try to get a good shot of it here. They're kind of, I'd call them like shallow. The head of the bolt isn't very big. I'm not sure why that is, but it's a 17 millimeter. And there it is, but you can see how it doesn't go very deep into my wrench, and it's just really shallow shoulder bolts. So when you're taking these off, you have to go very slow to make sure your wrench is tight. I tapped on the wrench with a hammer to break them free. My sockets and everything just kind of slipped off of that, but should come apart pretty easy because I had it off last week. Yours will not come apart that easy the first time, but I should be able to twist them out by hand. Get this light out of the way. Get in a spot there. Now you guys can see what's going on. So take those out. The car's actually been pretty good overall. We bought it with almost 100,000 miles and just had to replace some wheel bearings and rear brakes, caliper pieces, the brackets for the back, but everything else has been pretty good. Had a little bit of hesitation when we first bought it, and found out that that was just the spark plugs were so wore out that it felt like the transmission was slipping, but it was actually the car misfiring. So get your caliper out of the way. You can see this one here, that one moves. This one doesn't do anything. I tried to wrench on it and bash on it, and nothing really helped. So I'm gonna get these pads off. I'll actually use one of these pads inside the caliper to compress these pistons evenly. I'll just kind of lay it on there like that. Maybe I'll do that right away, so I don't forget. I got my C-clamp. Just make sure you don't smash the brake line in the back of the caliper when you put your C-clamp on. your C-clamp should not go on the brake line at all, so just make sure it's off of there. But for the fronts are pretty easy. You just get your C-clamp on there and get those pistons to squeeze in a little bit. Looks like it wants to teeter-totter. Because I can't get this quite centered in here. There's two pistons in here. When it's one piston, it's pretty easy because you only have to push one in. But with two, one wants to push out if you don't have enough pressure on it. But now they're going in. So that one's pushed in. I did notice our brake fluid was a little low, so I know that when I push the pistons back in, it's actually not going to leak out the top of the reservoir. But you can see I got the pistons pushed in. Boots look pretty good. Really nothing wrong there. So try to get this caliper up out of the way a little bit. It'll probably be in the way. But now we got to get this bracket off. The new brake pads come with, let's open it up here. They come with new clips for the caliper bracket here. So we don't really need to worry about if those get wrecked or not, but try not to damage what you have there, just in case if you do need it. And these are 18mm back here. I haven't broke these free yet, so who knows. They came off pretty good. Get this bottom one. I did replace the wheel bearing on this corner, so I'm not surprised that these bracket bolts came off fairly easy. So we'll get this off the rest of the way. You can see the bolt height difference on those. You can tell how shallow that 17mm one was. So be very careful you don't round that off. A little bit of thread lock on these from the factory, so you have to fight that a little bit. Oop, caught it. Old bracket off. Now there's a different part number for the left and right caliper bracket, and I don't know why, but I'll take a look at them here and see if there's something that I can tell. Right off the bat, I really don't see a difference, but open up the other one. But the part numbers are BB5Z 2B292D, and the other one is BB5Z 2B293D. So looking at the parts, only thing I notice is that there's a blue hue, bluish tint to this one and not this one. Now if I look at my original one, they're actually, it's kind of hard to see, there's actually a little bit of blue tint left on the metal here right before the threads start, and it's not thread lock, it matches the same color here. So as far as I can tell, that's the correct, this would be the correct one for the right. So I don't know, I mean visually I can't really see a difference, but I guess we'll try this and see what happens. Go ahead and put your new bracket on. At least they look like the right part. I hate when you order a part and you can't compare it to your original one until you get it off the car again and end up with the wrong piece, and you gotta run to the store again. So get those on there. Snug these up right away. Again, I usually use a hammer on my brake stuff, it just feels like I can get the right amount of torque on them. Just make sure these new slide pins are moving, and they're pre-greased. I mean, they'll move a little hard just because it's building up suction in there. So the new new pieces. I'm gonna look at my old one here. Looks like both sides are the same. This goes right on there. Grab another new one. That goes the right way. Oops. And you shouldn't have to ever pound these clips on. You should just go right where they need to be. Sometimes you just kind of coax it in there, maybe with a screwdriver a little bit if you can't squeeze it with your hand. But that should do it for that. Some people grease the slides in here for the brake pads, but if you're not reusing your old stuff, the way I look at it is just that grease there is gonna build up and catch a lot more dirt and make your brake pads maybe bind up more than they should. The brake pads themselves, they're not side specific. It doesn't matter if they're in or out. So try to look at the new pads, and they are in fact the same. Yep, same pads. Should be able to slide this in. Again, I have all Ford parts in here, so I'm trying to get the most life out of my parts and avoid any snags with fitment. So it's just the best way to go. I mean, 140,000 miles on these original brake pads on the front. You can see there's actually still some meat left on them, but no reason to keep them if I'm in here replacing all this. So get that put away. Since I already have the pistons pushed in, should be able to just slide this over. And that looks pretty good. I'm pretty sure these just kind of go wherever they need to go. I don't know if you gotta turn these to get them to a certain spot. I guess I could look at the old one. The old one shows the top rotated kind of out. And the bottom one looks like I have in the right spot. Okay. This would almost be the same process for replacing your brake pads anyway, and the front rotors. So get them kind of snugged up with your ratcheting wrench first, and remember that the head on it is really shallow, so get your wrench tight. Make sure it's grabbing on there. No problem. And that looks to be about it. So there's the new bracket on the front, new slide pins, new brake pads. It's pretty good, pretty easy.